Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Star Trek Discovery introduced 9 major league villains, and here they are ranked, worst to best. The first Star Trek on Paramount Plus series, Star Trek Discovery kicked off a new era and a renaissance of Star Trek when it premiered in 2017 after the franchise had been off TV for 12 years. Despite its title, Star Trek Discovery wasn't technically about exploration or seeking out new life and new civilizations. While that did happen regularly, Star Trek Discovery was Star Trek's first fully serialized action series. The USS Discovery was a crisis response ship that Captain Michael Burnham led to defeat multiple threats to the galaxy. Star Trek Discovery brought the blockbuster movie-quality visuals of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies to streaming television. Discovery was a propulsive and imaginative series where the advanced scientific minds of Burnham and the USS Discovery's crew were pitted against all manner of intergalactic menaces. The USS Discovery had no limits when it came to time or place, thanks to its controversial spore displacement hub drive, which allowed the starship to travel instantaneously. In its 5 seasons, Star Trek Discovery spanned the 23rd and 32nd centuries in Star Trek's timeline, entered the Mirror Universe, and even traveled to a neighboring galaxy. Through it all, Captain Burnham and the USS Discovery faced off against all manner of the most powerful and dangerous villains Star Trek has ever seen. The mysterious menace of Star Trek Discovery Season 4. The dark matter anomaly, also known as the DME, suddenly appeared in the United Federation of Planet Space and immediately destroyed Quagian, the homeworld of Cleveland Booker David Ajala. Originally believed to be a natural phenomenon, the USS Discovery's crew eventually learned that the dark matter anomaly was a massive mining device used to harvest boronite, and it was built by unknown species 10C, who hailed from a neighboring galaxy. The USS Discovery and a Federation delegation crossed the galactic barrier to species 10C's galaxy and were able to make first contact, establishing peaceful relations with a truly alien race. Species 10C agreed to disable the DM after learning of the harm it caused to the Federation. The dark matter anomaly was scary as a concept, but ultimately, it was just a device used by an alien race that didn't intend to cause harm. As a villain, the DMA was a dud despite the death and destruction it caused. In the mid-23 RD century, Control was Section 31's Artificial Intelligence Threat Assessment Protocol. However, as Control gained sentience, it determined that organic life was a threat to the galaxy, and it decided intergalactic genocide was the solution. Control killed and took possession of humanoid avatars like Captain Leland Alan Van Sprang. Control needed the 100,000 years of galactic data contained in the sphere to achieve full sentience and wipe out all organic life in the galaxy. The sphere data was merged with the USS Discovery's computer, which gained its own sentience and came to be known as Zora Annabelle Wallace. Star Trek Discovery Season 2 ended with the USS Discovery and the USS Enterprise, along with the Kelpians and Zahians, battling and defeating Control. Commander Michael Burnham donned the Red Angel time suit and led Discovery on a one-way trip 930 years into the future, preventing Control from coming back online. Control was an early warning by Star Trek Discovery about the perils of AI that seems even more prevalent today. However, Control was lacking as an intriguing villain in and of itself, requiring proxies to give Star Trek Discovery Season 2 a big bad some character. Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh seemed like she was out of Star Trek Discovery when her character, Captain Philippa Georgiou, was killed off in Discovery's series premiere, but one of Star Trek Discovery greater than Season 1's best twists was Yeoh returning as a villain, the Mirror Universe's Emperor Philippa Georgiou. Emperor Georgiou was the absolute ruler of the Mirror Universe's fascist Terran Empire. Before she was deposed by Gabriel Lorca Jason Isaacs, Georgiou led the Terrans to conquer Vulcan, Teller, the Klingons, the Kelpians, and countless other species. However, Georgiou had a soft spot for her adopted daughter, Michael Burnham, and Michael's Prime Universe counterpart aboard the USS Discovery. Ultimately, Emperor Giorgio emerged as more of an anti-heroine than an outright villain. After Emperor Giorgio fled to Star Trek's Prime Universe, her authoritarian impulses softened thanks to Commander Michael Burnham's earnestness. At her worst, Emperor Giorgio was a ruthless killer and mass murderer, but Philippa used her sadism to aid the Federation in Star Trek. Section 31. Osyraa Janet Kidder was an ideal foil for Commander Michael Burnham in Star Trek Discovery Season 3. The Orion space pirate was the leader of the Emerald Chain, a vast criminal syndicate of Orions and Andorians in the 32nd century. Cunning and ruthless, Osyraa's master plan was to foster an alliance between the Federation and the Emerald Chain in order to take over the slowly resurgent Federation. To that end, Osyraa and the Emerald Chain hijacked the USS Discovery and took it to Federation headquarters, forcing a meeting with Admiral Charles Vance Oded Fair. Osyraa was eventually stopped and killed by Burnham, who took back the USS Discovery. Burnham's defeat of Osyraa, as well as the USS Discovery's crew led by Captain Saru Doug Jones, solving the mystery of the burn, resulted in Michael's promotion to captain and command of the USS Discovery at the end of Star Trek Discovery Season 3. The Breen Imperium returned as the main villains of Star Trek Discovery Season 5, which revealed more of the Breen culture that was only hinted at in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, including the Breen's gelatinous faces behind their helmets and refrigeration suits. In Star Trek Discovery Season 5's 32nd century, the Breen were locked in an internal conflict after the death of their emperor. Primarch Run Tony Napo wanted the throne for himself, though Run needed his nephew, Lac Elias Tufexis, a blood descendant of the emperor, to become the new emperor. The Breen also sought the progenitor's technology in Star Trek Discovery Season 5, with another Primarch, Tahal Patricia Somerset, chasing after the ancient life-giving power source after Run's death. The USS Discovery managed to banish Tahal's Breen fleet to the edge of the galaxy to protect the progenitor's power, already fearsome and mysterious in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The Breen Imperium 800 years later in Star Trek Discovery had even greater technology and more ruthless designs of conquest once their internal strife over who would become emperor was resolved. Star Trek Discovery's redesigned Klingons remain a source of ire nearly a decade after they were introduced and years after their last live-action appearance. Yet Discovery's revamp of the Klingons made the warrior race even more fearsome and deadly. Star Trek Discovery began with the divided Klingon Empire seeking to reassess their cultural identity as warriors in the wake of the United Federation of Planets expansion. Led by the Klingon Messiah, T'Kuvma Chrysobi, the Klingons united their great houses and declared war on the Federation. Even after the T'Kuvma's death, the Klingons devastated the Federation, with the Klingon War claiming millions of innocent lives. After the Federation defeated the Klingons, L'Rell Mary Kifo, an ally of Starfleet, became the first female Klingon High Chancellor, though the warrior race retained their dangerous edge. Hated as they may be by Star Trek fans, Star Trek Discovery successfully remade the Klingons into a truly alien and savage race, introducing frightening elements like cannibalism into their culture. Klingons even consumed the corpse of Captain Philippa Georgiou after her death in Star Trek Discovery's series premiere. While Harcourt Fenton Harry Mudd Roger C. Carmel was a dangerous scoundrel in Star Trek, the original series, he was also a source of whimsy and comedy. Star Trek Discovery introduced a younger version of Harry Mudd Rainn Wilson, who was considerably more of a menace. Harry Mudd first encountered Captain Gabriel Lorca in a Klingon prison during Star Trek Discovery Season 1. Harry Mudd's return, however, upped Mudd's ante to make him a genuine threat to the USS Discovery. And arguably Star Trek Discovery's best episode, Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad, Harry Mudd boarded the USS Discovery and trapped everyone aboard in a time loop that repeatedly destroyed the starship. Mudd's endgame was to hijack Discovery and sell its spore drive to the Klingons. Harry Mudd placing profit and his own desires over the fate of the galaxy belies how different he was in Star Trek Discovery. Rainn Wilson's Harry also returned in an episode of Star Trek Short Treks, and Mudd remains a high watermark for Star Trek Discovery villains. Star Trek Discovery's final season introduced a pair of the best villains in the series. Maeve Harlow and Lack were a Bonnie and Clyde-like couple who sought clues to find the ancient power of the progenitors. As Star Trek Discovery Season 5 continued, Lack was revealed to be the scion of the Breen, who was in line to become the new emperor. Yet Lack turned his back on his destiny out of love for Maul, a human. This betrayal incensed Lack's uncle, Primarch Run, who placed an Arago blood bounty on the couple. Lack and Maul were cunning and resourceful, but grew increasingly desperate as Star Trek Discovery Season 5 continued. After Lack's tragic death, Maul used his status as the scion to take control of Primarch Run's dreadnought starship after killing Lack's diabolical uncle. At the end of Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Lack remained deceased while Maul was in Federation custody and offered a mysterious new role by Dr. Kovac David Cronenberg. As far as epic villains go, Star Trek Discovery saved two of the best for last. Star Trek Discovery never found a villain to top its first true big bad, Captain Gabriel Lorca, who was revealed to be an evil doppelganger from the Mirror Universe. Jason Isaacs, who was Star Trek Discovery Season 1's headlining actor and casting coup along with Michelle Yeoh, turned Lorca into a Star Trek captain unlike any other. Devious, manipulative, charismatic, highly intelligent, with a warrior's instinct that other Starfleet captains lacked during the Klingon War. Lorca's true goal wasn't to win the Klingon War, but to use the USS Discovery's spore drive to return to the Mirror Universe. There, Gabriel sought to depose Emperor Philippa Georgiou, settling an old score with his rival. Lorca did succeed in unseating Georgiou, but he perished in defeat soon after. No season of Star Trek Discovery passed without fans hoping for and anticipating that Jason Isaacs would somehow reprise Captain Lorca. This is the surest sign that Lorca's status as Star Trek Discovery's greatest villain will remain unchallenged now that the series is over. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.